Welcome back. Once again, the biggest game of December is towards the end, so I've played a few games and I'll bring you up to speed. Our first return game of the season is against Lamia, who we made light work of. Živkovic opened the scoring in the 40th minute, before Rafa Suarez doubled our lead late in the game. A comfortable win that came at a cost. Desperado will be out for a couple of weeks. We may have our solution at left wing back though. Rafa Suarez has been on the fringes after an injury in pre-season, but will likely get a chance in January when Baba Rahman heads to AFCON. Our next fixture is the second leg of the Greek Cup. Going in with a 3-0 lead, at home, against lower league opponents, there is an argument that I don't really need to show these highlights. But I like goals. For any fellow NFL fans here, this is our opportunity to stat pad, like with Dak Prescott in the fourth quarter of a blowout playoff defeat. Samatta netted a first half hat-trick to take him to 13 goals for the season, before man of the moment Rafa Suarez added our fifth. That sets us up for a quarter-final tie against the Steros Tripolis, which means we play them 3 times in January. We've had our transfer budget revealed, which means other teams have had their transfer budgets revealed. And so we've offered out Thomas Merg and Brandon Thomas in the hope we can get a transfer fee before teams can offer them pre-contract deals. We've also had our youth intake preview, and the less said the better. Next up, Kafisia. It wasn't pretty, but we got the Schwab done. Just one more game to go, and we maintained our 100% record in the conference lead. Courtesy of goals from Živkovic and Tyson in a 2-1 win over Rapid Wien. We rotated quite heavily in preparation for our upcoming game against league leaders AEK. We do have a couple of bits of news before that game though. Andrija Živkovic is officially the best Serbian player in the world, but somehow not good enough to get game time for the national team. Brandon Thomas has agreed to join Bristol City for just shy of €1 million, whilst Thomas Merg has nixed my plans to move him on. And that brings us up to date. Desperado returns to the lineup for his first start since injury. Last episode, I spoke about achievements, and this is our first chance to complete a double over significant opposition. The eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed both teams end in K, and that is because both were founded by refugees from Constantinople. If we win today, I believe I can earn the first embellishment to Yanis Mustermann's name. Yanis Mustermann, King of Constantinople. Of course, we need to win first, and I'm a little unsure how best to face up against this 4-2-4. We will change which defender is on cover duty, as both external centre-backs will be responsible for marking their strikers. Hopefully that's enough. One of the joys of starting a career outside of England, for me at least, is that it leads me down these weird, often irrelevant rabbit holes. This Constantinopolitan battle is no different. It starts with looking up the history of Constantinople, or Istanbul, or Byzantium, whatever you want to call it. Then you find yourself researching the Byzantine Empire, and thinking about which emperors had similarities with footballers. Take, for example, Constantine V, who was known as the Dung-Named. This was because allegedly he shit himself during his baptism. He is obviously Gary Lineker. Who incidentally would have been proud of that finish from Marcos Antonio to give us the lead. Great work from Tyson down the right, and his cutback is perfectly in stride for Marcos Antonio. Back to Byzantine Empires. Michael III, nicknamed the Drunkard, allegedly fathered 2 children with the wife of his co-emperor Basil I, making them the Byzantine equivalent of John Terry and Wayne Bridge. Basil I later had Michael III assassinated, so, John Terry beware? How about Justinian II, who had his nose cut off after he was deposed, which was later replaced with a gold replica? That's Cristiano Ronaldo. Finally, Jovian, whose 7-month reign involved a humiliating retreat against the Persians, burning down a library in Antioch, and dying under mysterious circumstances. No footballing parallel here, just more successful than Frank de Boer at Crystal Palace. That goal has been coming. It's going to VAR, but the flag has stayed down, and that's usually the indicator. Ponce is lingering between those centre-backs for ages. Oh, that looks off to me. Cracking finish though. Need to make a couple of changes. Rob looks tired, and Samatta can possibly help get us back in front. Ah, f***. Pretty straightforward corner routine. Looks like we've thrown this away. Right, first thing, let's see this equaliser again. Let's get the right frame. Oh look, I'm a VAR official. Change the angle. And yup, that's your culprit there. Time to tell the lads I'm disappointed. All good things must come to an end. Our first defeat of the season sees us drop 6 points behind AEK, and all those draws are starting to look costly. To end the month, we have a home game against PAS Giannina. Marcos Antonio opened the scoring early with his 4th goal of the season, before Konstantelius gathered Desperadov's pass and doubled our lead. It didn't take long for Desperadov to make it 3-0, and Michaelidis to meet a far post corner to round off a perfect first half. Giannina responded early in the second through Conde, before Jones Sastre was left in acres of space and restored our 4-goal advantage. It was a much needed tonic, and only one thing could make it better. AEK fell to a 4-0 defeat away at Olympiacos, so we end December as we started, in 3rd place, 3 points off top spot. Atromitus have fallen below us, with Olympiacos leapfrogging us both. The gap to 5th, however, is chasmic. We've got a mini Christmas break coming up, and some big decisions to make as we look ahead to next season already. With a number of players with contracts expiring in the summer, and a handful of established players I'd be keen to move on, January might see some bold moves. But that will have to wait until next season. See you then.